when I was 13, just going through puberty, I don't have a very deep voice, but I was very conscious about my voice being very high still.
Yeah.
So I went camping with a friend of mine, and we went away for a weekend. And when I came back, I decided I want to have a deep voice by the time I come back from this. Yeah. So during the car ride home, I started making my voice very deep. Kind of talking like this, just talking like this, and I was just talking like this, like normally, and then.
But they knew.
Well, my friend knew, and then I came back home and I talked to my mom, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then
why does your mom sound like? Why is your mom your deep voice?
Because I kept the deep voice for effect. But anyways, yeah. So I started talking like that, and then obviously I couldn't keep that up for very long, and especially because my throat started hurting. So I just stopped.
Jeremiah modeled his deep voice after his mom.
You've met my mom. She does have a deep voice. Yeah. No, but I feel like I still have a very
like a southern trucker. She just got that like heavy.
Welcome home, son. Welcome home, brother. Jeremiah's mom smoked a pack a day all her life.
She does.
Hey, son.
My dad is actually very.
Your parents are kind of real ones. They
real ones.
Well, they smoke up.
Oh, they smoke a lot. My dad, mega stoner. Thank God weed is legal. That guy would be in jail.
Yeah, he just started smoking weed, 6 years ago then?
Thank God.
Yeah.
This guy obeyed the law.
No, I think he has it. Anyways, I'm not going to get into this.
Say it, whatever. I'll cut it.
My brother has my dad, I think he has a drug charge.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to cut it.
Well, for holding marijuana.
Yeah.
That's okay. Man, can I tell you guys about... So the thing I wanted to talk about. There's this girl at work that I work with.
What's her full name?
I'm not doing that.
Please give me her social insurance number.
She's nice. She's nice. We have fine conversations. I've never actually had a bad interaction with her. I hate her so much.
Good. I hope that's where this is going.
She annoys me on another level that I've never experienced with another human being.
I could never imagine going through life without hating people. Because like I wake up and I think, God, the list is ever growing. Well, every new human I meet, I flip a coin, and I say if it's heads, I hate them, and it's a two-sided head coin.
Okay, there's
Julia throws things out. They're half full, and she said, "Oh, you know what? I've taken one bite out of this chicken wing. Time to put it in the trash."
Julia lives like she's rich, eh?
Julia lives like
she lives like a purple player.
What?
And anytime she has something in her hand, she puts it in the trash. And then she's like, "Great, I'll see you later."
When I need a midnight snack, I'll just go find the other half of that chicken wing.
Pull it out of the trash. Tasty treat for me.
Calling from the darkness.
Save it for later.
I want to live like that. Why? I know it's so bad for the environment, but I want to just like wear some clothes one day and like instead of throwing them on my ground, just be like, whoop, in the trash. Bye bye.
Into the trash.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that with like the laundry. Actually, I fold my clothes and put them in the laundry bin.
In the laundry bin?
Yeah.
Wait, like to go into the laundry machine?
Like,
you fold them well.
Do you think they stay folded?
Like I have a hamper.
Sure.
Right, a laundry hamper.
Yep.
I'll like fold my shirt and then put it in there.
Why?
I don't know.
That's like making your bed in the morning.
I
do that. Wait, do you not make your bed?
I hate making my
bed. You are currently in vision of my unmade bed.
That's how I like it because here's the thing. This is some deep lore into Noah's life. I like to sleep with the blanket wrapped around my feet.
Yeah.
So
no.
I need it to be under my feet. One, I feel claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And two, it's just not comfortable. So I have to rip it out from like being tucked and then tuck it under my feet. And at that point, I'm like, why would I retuck this in the morning? Okay, just leave it.
Then
all
don't
over the bed.
just don't leave your bed sheet in a mess. Just put it back over top, but don't tuck it underneath.
No, but what's the point?
What? So
it looks nice for who? The people touring my bedroom?
I guess.
Why are there people walking through my bedroom?
Listen, I don't know about you. I like having a nice, clean space. When things get messy, it kind of gives me a little bit of stress. I feel like I'm losing my grip on things a little bit.
I want to be able to like jump or sit on my bed and not be like, oh no, I messed up my nice, clean bed. I'm stressed now. No, I want to be like, I'm going to go burrow through these blankets.
Well, think about Pillowmon.
Okay.
Where's Pillowmon going to hang out?
That's what I mean. Look how comfortable Pillowmon is.
Would Pillowmon be more or less comfortable in a made, nice, neat bed? Or your crappy, messy,
have you seen Pillowmon?
Turned bed?
It's a head wrapped around a blanket wrapped around a head.
Yeah.
That's not a made bed.
That's a Godfather movie.
It's a pillow. Welcome to the Errata Sonata.
Jeremiah got to do
this.
I don't like this. I started I was very clear. I'm
You
going
guys
to say
didn't even
the
let me
intro
finish
every
the
time.
intro.
Coup d'etat on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3, coup. All right, Ian, you're not in charge anymore.
D'état.
I've never had that before.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to show us your chops?
Viva la revolution.
Do it in your deep voice.
Welcome to the Errata Sonata, guys. I'm Jeremiah.
This is Ian.
And this is Noah.
Shut up.
I cut that.
Welcome back to the Errata Sonata podcast.
This is Noah.
I think it's about time for me
There's
to
plenty of sound bites for you to use there.
My people need.
Let my people go.
I think we have a good one, but you could do one more just for the sake of it.
Welcome to the Errata Sonata.
Do it after I'm done talking, though.
Okay, I'm over. Well, you were done. Welcome to the Errata Sonata. This is Jeremiah.
This is Ian.
This is podcast.
Now that's podcasting.
This is podcasting. Today we're going to be talking about card advantage in Digimon card game.
We've not agreed to that. Jeremiah has made a decision with regard to the moment that you give this guy a second of power. He says, "Hey, I'm going to decide our topic. I'm going to go into it."
I'm the red player. We need the
Turn
bond.
sideways.
We need the bond of bravery. We need the leader. We need the red Power Ranger. We need someone to take
I
charge.
love, by the way, as a quick aside, you guys know I'm going to cut out what you guys said, so I'll start on this.
Okay, great.
So the reality is, my favorite anime trope is people of Earth give me your strength. Because so many shows have that exact scene where they go, everybody raise your arms, give me your power. You got Digimon, kids sending in their emails from all over the world. You got Dear Evan Hansen, oh, what a true story. The number go up. And the idea of every human on Earth just being behind you as the music swells.
You didn't say Goku?
No, I started with that. People raise your hands, give me your strength.
Yeah. I
That's
thought
the
you were
first
just
one.
saying- Oh, well,
Yeah, but it wasn't
didn't-
clear to the listeners
You didn't know,
that he was
you didn't
doing a
know,
spirit bomb.
You didn't know Goku.
Sorry, I don't know Goku.
You didn't note Goku Spirit Bomb. You just said people raising their hands. I'm like, well, that happens at concerts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But except not really.
Well,
I don't give a shit about a concert. Wait, tell me when fucking Creed steps out and fucking hits me with a spirit bomb.
Creed from The Office?
That's exactly what I was thinking. You remember the episode where he just like smacks Meredith in the head and runs away?
And screams and runs? Yeah, I love that. It's self-defense.
Do a quick Assassin's Creed for Julia. So she has a reason to listen to the podcast later.
Yeah. What are we talking about today, guys?
I wanted to talk about card advantage. Primarily because Digimon is one of the weirdest games for card advantage.
Very different, yes.
I draw my entire deck most games.
And it feels good.
It feels so good.
It is very common that I have like a 10 card hand and I'm like, man, my hand's so small.
You know, so Noah was saying that to me because we were deck testing new decks.
Yeah.
And he was saying like, oh, I was playing Yellow Vaccine at the time. And he's like, oh, you know, usually I play against somebody and they have like 18 cards in hand. And the only difference was I was not running a draw baby. Having a draw baby is so much card advantage turn over turn.
Well, a bonus draw every turn is going to do a lot.
It
for your
does
hand
wonders.
size. Yeah. And
Well, I was playing Mirage, and you never realize how many cards people have in their hands until you're playing a deck that cares about how many cards
That
people have in their
counts,
hands.
yeah.
And so I realized, like, before I even played Mirage, I was probably estimating average hand size is 8 to 12 cards.
Yeah.
Usually, depending on the deck you're playing, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, your hand size was consistently like 5 cards. Like you were maintaining your start of game hand
Because
size.
just from not having a baby.
for anyone that doesn't know, whenever you Digivolve a Digimon in the Digimon card game, you draw the top card of your deck.
Yes.
So you get a card
You
every
get a
time
free draw.
If you would place a card on top of another card, you draw one.
Yeah. So the only time you are meant to lose cards from a Digimon is if you hard play it to
Yes.
field.
So if you cast it for its full cost, but Digivolving is generally just better because most of your effects are going to activate that way. You're going to stack your inheritable effects. So Digimon have cards underneath that give their effects to cards above.
Yeah.
This guy's telling me Digivolving is better. Try Digicrossing.
I can use 3 cards from hand. I can go -3 on this
You
one.
go -3, but you get all those inheritables that you wanted in the first place, and you reduce the cost of the card.
I actually was saying this earlier. The reality is that Rookie Rush fundamentally is designed from the start of the game very interestingly. If I am going to play a bunch of cheap guys, I'm not adding cards to my hand. I end up with 1 or 2 cards in my hand by the end of like a certain Rookie Rush turn. But if I'm playing the way the game intends, build a big stack, get to my, you start at level 2 and you build up to level 6.
Yeah.
Who knows why we don't have level 1. But by the time you get to level 6, you've actually not lost a single card in hand.
Yeah,
You've exchanged cards.
Yeah. So the idea is you're just trying to, but then there's the cog in the machine, right? You go into your level 3, you go into your level 4, and then I don't have a level 5. I don't have another way to draw a card.
Do you remember the world that we lived in before boosts existed in the game?
Yes.
When we said, hey, if your deck does not have a tribal mechanic to search the top 3 or 4 cards of deck, you just go, I guess I'll skip my turn, or I guess I'll be forced to go wide.
How many searchers can you name before boosts were in the game?
Jeremiah, it's you and me. You and me against the world. I got Karamon. There's Huckmon was in the game with boost, right? That was BT6.
Yeah.
Huckmon was in with boost. There was Gladymon.
There's Patamon and Agumon from BT.
Yeah, there were actually was
they
good
search tamers.
Patamon and Togemon. Green used to be the search color back when, once again, green not having a consistent identity.
Yeah. Oh, that's another episode.
But then there's obviously like TK, but we're running low already. And
Davis was a searcher too.
Yeah, but I think what we're specifically talking about is like drop a level 3 search X cards.
Yeah.
Is pretty limited back in the day.
Well, we've talked about it before about BT1 Gabumon, where I just really liked that card because even in back then, it was just you're digivolving it, you're drawing a card, you're playing it, you're drawing a card.
Gabumon had draw, and then Agumon had a searcher because there was an old Agumon searcher.
Yeah, there's a BT1.
But do you know, is there a strict answer?
I don't know the exact number, but
it was Gladymon too.
I was more addressing, because you said tribal searchers, right?
Yeah.
And before memory boosts, I'm not going to count BT6, so BT5 and forward, there were 2 maybe.
Yeah.
There were not very many.
There were very
Karamon and Kodamon. I guess Gladymon was but he searched your security.
And then Palmon. Palmon searched to level 4.
But that's not a tribal searcher.
No, sorry. Yeah, no, it's not. But it's a, specifically like green design space at the time was like one card will look for a card next up the line.
Yeah, Tenomon search 1 card. Just on play, reveal the top card of your deck.
Yeah.
If it's a green Digimon card, add it to your hand.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about searchers and how they interact with the Digivolve draw mechanic is that all of our searchers are actually just excavate. Yeah. So look at top X cards, add a card to your hand, and then put the rest of them on the bottom of your deck.
Yes.
And in Digimon, you're not shuffling very often, so you're actually able to stack your draws. And if you're Digivolving enough, which most decks are, you're eventually going to hit that stack of cards. So you're going to be able to get back to what you put down, and that's just generally really helpful and not something that you see in other card games.
It's very uncommon. Some decks were a lot more big on it. Like I remember that there was a time when it was theorized that Aosmon had the ability to fully cycle your deck, and now you could start card counting.
Yeah.
But the deck wasn't strong enough to actually make use of the fact that you knew every card in your deck in order.
Yeah.
It was just it was a neat trick.
If so you played Vanguard back in 2012. During that era,
Vanguard.
During that era, there was a deck. Well, it's because I have the most experience playing it. There was a deck, Tsukuyomi, that was all about stacking your deck and putting them back on the bottom, and then again.
Oh, like actually card counting.
Yeah, so actually card counting.
Okay.
And the difference is in Vanguard you have those triggers, so when they're revealed they give you a bonus effect. And the idea was to get to this point where you just had a critical mass of triggers lined up in one go. And so every time you're attacking with your Vanguard, you're getting these bonus effects off the top of your deck.
And that's why he loves security control.
Because you know what, though? Avenge Kid really did change
the game. You used to do that exact thing. You would put those cards in security, and you would count your deck because you'd loop through it.
Yeah,
but again, you'd have stacked the bottom with options, and then you recover them.
Vanguard is another one of those games that has a lot of card draw. You don't see a lot of decks or a lot of games that, you know, if they're just ripping one from the top every turn, they're not playing a lot of like, you know, stack the bottom of my deck strategies, because most of the time you're not going to get there, right? Yeah. Think of your experiences with Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean, that's what I think Noah was trying to say, because I think the reality is Avenge Kid and SetCon really is the first time we could care about the order of our deck. When I was playing Beelzemon and Creepymon, we also were started getting to the point of card counting, because you would just say, well, I know there's 10 cards left in my deck. Yeah. If I'm going to mill 6 of them, I'm most likely going to be hitting the remainder of my triggers left in the deck.
Yeah.
And so you could plan your turns out specifically around what was left in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that having that ability to choose your deck in order is very powerful. It's very good. Unfortunately, if you get it too late in the game, you can't take advantage of it, and you just lose, even though you know everything that's in your deck.
Also, you can't write it down.
Also, you can't write it down in Digimon.
Yeah.
No pen and paper.
Yeah.
So recently, I played Lorcana. Recently, a couple months ago, I played Lorcana.
Yeah.
And that is a game with so minimal card draw.
Yep.
Every card is so valuable to you.
Yeah.
And I am a player who loves to have cards in my hand. That's part of why I love Digimon.
Yeah.
I love that there's no limit. Because I played Hearthstone, you're capped at 10 cards. That's it.
Yeah.
No more than 10. In Digimon, if I have only 10 cards in my hand, I'm upset. I want to have 18 cards in my hand. I want it to be thicker than my deck. But I played Lorcana, and every card is a premium, right? And because you're not digivolving, you're not replenishing your hand as you go, you're just playing cards. And so every time you play a card, I felt bad playing them. It was upsetting to me.
Yeah, it's upsetting. I mean, I think that like this is especially coming because Lorcana is very Magic. Like,
Yeah.
I'll say that. So the reality is Magic, the fundamental design, unlike Digimon, you start with 7 cards instead of 5. But on an average turn of Magic, especially a turn 1, you're expected to go -1 card.
Yeah, you play a land.
And if you're on the play, your turn 1 is expected to be -2 cards in hand. Play
Yeah,
a
you're on the
land,
play, yeah.
play a land, play a
card.
1-drop, or some kind of low cost
Yeah.
on curve effect.
I think look at Magic, and you have to every turn be spending a card that you're drawing essentially
For
to try to
lands.
get your mana base up there. So it becomes that dichotomy of okay, my card draw isn't actually benefiting me that much because I'm putting it on the board every turn, so I'm not really gaining cards in my hand. I'm just seeing more. to
The
let me play
reality
myself.
is that I think within Magic, an individual card standalone often has more power than an individual card in Digimon has.
definitely
As a non-Magic player,
Yeah.
I know obviously you've got land ratios. I think on average it's a third of your deck for most decks.
Yeah, about a third.
What-
Yeah.
When it comes to aggro decks, how many
I
lands?
think
You
probably
play-
more like a quarter.
You'd go lower.
Lower, right?
Lower
Okay.
because you essentially are saying I don't need more than 3 lands.
Well, I imagine part of the appeal of an aggro deck is saying I'm going to stop at 3 lands. Like,
Yeah.
you only need to see 3, and that's part of why Rookie Rush existed. You said I just need to see my bottom end. I don't need to see specific cards to employ my strategy.
Yeah.
Which is what I would probably play aggro in Magic, not because I enjoy aggro strategies, but I hate not having the cards that I need to have.
Yeah.
And so looking for lands, that sounds so awful. That sounds terrible.
It's pretty upsetting. I mean, like it got better over time because you get the appeal of something like a fetch land in Magic.
Huge.
Is specifically because you may have dedicated 2 cards in your deck to be lands, one being a fetch land, one being a basic. But when you find a fetch land, it removes the basic land from your deck, which means that your remaining number of cards that are lands are lower, so you're less likely to have a turn where you need something that's not a land to be wasted on a land.
Yeah. So a fetch land, by the way, is pay 1 life, sacrifice the land, search your library for one of either of its colors of the basic land.
So you end up with the flexibility and your ratios become better.
Yeah.
And paying 1 life in Magic is really not that big a deal. Paying a security in a non-yellow deck in Digimon is a big cost.
Well, and that's something.
Life is a resource.
That's really interesting in Digimon, where exclusive to Digimon is your life is so much more important.
Yes.
I come from Yu-Gi-Oh, where your life points are worth nothing. It's all just resources you spend, and there's tons of decks that will gladly pay 4,000 out of their 8,000 life points to negate 1 card effect. Could you imagine paying 3 security to stop your opponent from playing something?
I mean, you say that, but I think ever since BT9, we've been at the point where if you're not dead, then you're fine. Because at this point, you can just keep waiting and waiting until it's the perfect moment for you to raise up and do all your attacks in 1 turn.
Remember today, Jeremiah, with Diaboromon Quartzmon, I took you from 5 life to dead.
I know
on the turn.
but that's the thing is, if I wasn't sitting at 5 life, you wouldn't have I wouldn't have gotten 2 extra turns out of that game, right? You would have just killed me with the first Quartzmon.
Yes, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying is your life matters a lot more because it's just like
But the problem is that he might have needed time to get there. And so it doesn't matter how much security I'm at, as long as I'm still alive, I can kill you, right? And so I mean, life is still a resource in Digimon, and it feels like it's even more so a resource than it was at the beginning, because now decks can be so strong. They can clear your security in one go.
Well, I remember getting into the game and seeing Blinding Ray and immediately thinking Blinding Ray is insanely powerful. And it is for different reasons now that we have other cards.
If Blinding Ray had Hammer Spark's security effect, I think it would be a good card. Without it, the fact that there are... Okay, so within Digimon, I think every color at this point, every color but white, has their own equivalent of Hammer Spark. And Hammer Spark's function is use this card for 0, gain 1 memory. So gain 1 mana by wasting a card in hand. Card advantage goes down by 1. Purple's says count the cards in trash, get a number of mana based on how many cards are in trash. Black says when one of your Digimon is deleted, so it's a blocker color, gain memory. So you're setting a trap for next turn.
Such a weird card.
It targets a specific one.
Yes,
though.
That parabolic junk.
Parabolic junk, that's correct. There's Tropical Venom, because green is the battle color. So you put it on one of your opponent's Digimon to make them lose 2 mana when that Digimon dies.
Yeah, which is equivalent to gain.
Yes. Red has Gravity Crush, where you pay 2 now. So you gain 2 now, but at the end of your turn, your opponent will get a bonus 2. So it's a gain, but with a cost later. And then finally, yellow, lose a life in order to gain 2 memory immediately.
Mm-hmm.
If Blinding Ray had Hammer Spark security effect, it would be too good.
It would be very, very good.
Gain 2 memory.
Gain 2
It doesn't
memory
have
is powerful.
any security effect though, right? Even if it had a security effect that if you were hitting a security and it went to your hand, that would still be better. But would that make it good?
I mean,
I think it is a good. It is a good card.
It's a pretty good card. If it would go to hand, I think that Blinding Ray would see play.
I mean, obviously it's very good now because we have a lot more cards, and a lot more big cards with Rush that are just doing.
It was good then.
The secret sauce that I think you need to appreciate is because over time, hand size is getting easier to get large. It's easier for more decks to have 15 cards in hand now than it ever was before. So paying 1 card from hand for 2 mana has gotten better over time.
I mean, I think about it in context to Magic, where there's definitely got to be some kind of artifact that you play for free, sack it, and gain 1 floating red mana or something. And I'm like, that card's not good. I remember coming into...
Yeah.
Well, it's probably fine in certain strategies, but I just remember coming into Digimon and being like, this Hammer Spark card, this can't be that good.
I think that you are insane if you're coming out here and saying that in Magic, ramp is not powerful. What Commander deck have you seen without a Soul Ring in it?
No, but Soul Ring is a permanent bonus to your mana, whereas this is
Black Lotus is banned for a reason.
I know.
Innervate got nerfed for a reason.
I know these cards are good, guys. I'm just saying that we just talked about how every single card matters a lot more in other card games with different.
Even back then when we didn't have the kind of card draw we have now, Blinding Ray was played in a lot of the top decks. It was played in Yellow War Greymon and BT4. It was played in Lord Nightmon.
I remember Lord Nightmon.
It was played in Rookie Rush. It was a good card.
I know it's a
it
good
still
card.
is now.
Okay, maybe this is coming from someone who actively enjoys the trash your security strategy.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the time I'm okay doing that and I get a decent payoff for what I'm trying to do. I mean, obviously I'm not using the strongest cards to do it, but I'm getting a payoff and I do my thing, but then I just lose the game the next turn.
Speaking of trash and security, I'm going to go a little off topic. Because we've talked about Omnimon X antibody before. and trashing cards from security. I just found out that if a card says when trash from security, activate X effect, it's not triggered by Omnimon X antibody.
No, I'm going to be so fucking mad. Why? Why did the analog youth not count for purple deck? But then Omnimon X and TK, I'm so fucking mad.
That's why. Because analog youth puts it in okay, this is the exact ruling. So when cards are revealed, they are still in that same zone. There's that same location, but they don't trigger when trash from that location affects. So Analog Youth doesn't trigger when trash from deck affects, and Omnimon X doesn't trigger when trash from security affects. I hate it.
That's really frustrating. I hate the idea. You know, Jeremiah was just telling me that Digimon did not have zones. And the reality is, we have a reveal zone because reveal effects don't get. So hold on,
We don't have monster zones.
Ravemon Wait, what card looks at your opponent's hand and lets you choose?
Bagramon and I think Ravemon Burst Mode.
Okay, so Bagra and Ravemon. The reality is, do those mean that those are not going to trigger trash from hand effect?
That is the very first thing I asked when I found out. I believe that every effect we have so far that triggers when trash from hand specified by your own effect.
So
I haven't checked that.
So that would be Pummelwhack, Nidhogg, Skull Greymon, and
Orochimon, Underworld's
Orochi,
Call.
Underworld's.
There's a lot.
Purple's a good color.
Yeah.
We're eating good.
Yeah, purple's eating too good. Bring them down. Honestly, I went to go look at the purple Gabumons the other day. It's like, we don't have that many anymore now that we've hit 2.
That's another thing is outside of just Digimon drawing a lot of cards, purple goes crazy with their
It's
card
too
draw.
easy to cycle you back now.
And on top of that, they tried to go, okay, blue is the draw cards color. Purple is the draw cards and trash cards color. So we're offsetting it. You get to draw more cards, but you have to put them in the discard pile. Oh, but they're all about reanimating.
Yeah.
They're all about getting bonuses when
I
you
love them.
trash these
I'm
cards.
happier with a card in trash
I
than in
know,
hand.
but it's just crazy because if you were to look at a card in Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, that said, when this declares an attack, draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards, like discard any 2 cards from your hand, that's just really good.
I actually want to talk about that because they printed the new Dark Animal stuff and they specify that you trash before you draw. And it doesn't make a huge difference, but it is a nice little balancing act there because I do think that drawing and then getting to filter your hand the way that purple has been doing is so incredibly strong.
It's wildly powerful. Like the moment, what was it, with Sunomon. Sunomon, I would trash from hand, draw 1, and then I trigger my next trash from hand effect.
Yep.
And the reality is getting that additional card meant I'm BT2 Gabumon. I'm draw 2, trash 1. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, think of a card like Graceful Charity that's draw 3, trash 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you just do that on like half of your cards.
You
man.
do. I love it.
That card is banned.
Why does Jeremiah know so many cards from other games, but no Digimon
He doesn't
cards?
have any Digimon cards on lock.
That's so many.
What I think is, so what I was going to bring up is, okay, so we've complained about the way colors mix in Digimon, and we're about to enter a new world of purple blue. And when you want to talk about lots of draw power, new Garurumon is fucking wild.
Yeah,
the
and
amount of card cycle you have in that deck
and
is unmatched.
The reason it's a problem, I'm just gonna say it because I'm anti-purple.
Sure, but you're blue. You're pro blue.
Yeah, I'm pro blue. The reason it's a problem is because of purple.
Hold on.
Because look at Garurumon X.
Okay.
An EX5 card. Let's disseminate its effects.
Yeah.
Draw 2, trash 2. Purple effect or blue effect?
Very purple.
If Garurumon is in its sources, gain 1 memory. Purple or blue?
That's a blue effect.
That's a blue effect. So the best part of the card is the purple effect.
Gain a memory.
It's very good. But
for free.
would you rather it be swapped
I didn't
and
know
say
that
if
card-
it had Garurumon in sources, draw 2 or trash 2? Because that means
a memory.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I didn't know it gained a memory. It gains a memory.
It's a good card.
And draws you 2 cards and trashes 2 cards.
And it's
And it
inheritable.
digivolves for free off of Garurumon.
Yeah.
What?
And now you have a card on top of Garurumon, so when you attack, you'll draw 1
You
trash
get to draw 1 trash 1, and
Well,
Garurumon plays from security, right?
Not if you're on the good Garurumon. It's
You want
just
to draw?
1. Yeah.
But that's the beauty of Blurple. When you're playing Blurple Garurumon, when you would be deleted by battle, bottom deck 2 cards
I honestly
to prevent it.
I think it's a non-issue. You are going to trash so much already that you don't have to worry about finding those extra trash moments. Because the Where Garurumon X also trashes. The Gabumon X the whole deck is trashing cards.
How much does it digivolve base like
3
Okay,
from a rookie.
3 to digivolve.
But no, it's
standard dual color.
Yeah, it's Greymon X.
Yeah.
It's standard
It
dual
should be.
color.
I thought it was for 2
But
and I was going to lose.
Here's the thing. I actually think that like Greymon X is a good example because Greymon X is essentially cutting 2 from digivolving to your next level up, more or less.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is gain 1 immediately upon leveling. So technically it is gaining less memory than Greymon X is.
Is it one digivolving or one attacking?
It's when digivolving gaining memory.
And then it's the draw 2, trash 2.
Also
Also
when
when
digivolving.
digivolving.
But one of them is conditional on having Garurumon in sources.
Or X antibody. I guess.
Or X
Okay.
antibody.
Okay.
I actually don't know if it's X antibody.
I'm up to speed
I just
now.
assume.
I thought the card was like scatter mode, but I guess not.
No,
No.
well, it's like scatter mode in the sense that your hand cycling.
It's like scatter mode and that should probably be limited to 1.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I
And that's
mean-
another thing.
Scatter mode has definitive pros over Garurumon X.
Scatter mode's a great card.
It's like you look at it, it's on deletion, so it's not quite as good because it's not immediate value, and immediate value is always worth more than delayed value. But it only costs 4 to play. You don't need to find a level 3 to go into it. Like you could just drop that bad boy for 4. You feel great. You feel amazing.
Yeah.
Best feeling ever. Ignite Mon in the back, scatter mode on field. You're like, I don't care if this dies in security or not, because I'm gonna kill it anyway.
Now, here's something that we haven't touched on yet. You're drawing so many cards, trashing so many cards. How many cards you got left in deck by the end of the game?
The answer is not many, unless you're playing Garurumon X, where you can bottom deck as
Bottom
many as
deck
you
them.
want.
So if you don't have a lot of cards left in your deck, then it's really easy for you to deck out.
Yes, deck out is so. I mean,
I don't think that's true.
no, but I think what he's trying to express is the reality is deck out has always been the greatest risk for purple decks compared to other colors.
Just in general, in Digimon, compared to other card games?
yeah,
Yeah, well, like I brought up how I played Lorcana, and I was playing, and I realized at one point, wow, I'm not gonna see the bottom half of my deck guaranteed. Like,
Yeah.
throw this out. It's useless to me. There's no point in it being here,
yeah.
and that's so weird to me. It's like, why did I construct this deck to not see a majority of it?
Yeah, because like if you don't have draw effects, you really are saying starting hand size plus number of turns of game. That's how many cards you're gonna see from your deck. If you're playing a game that has 5 cards starting hand and ends by the end of turn 5, you saw 10 cards in your deck.
I had a blue flare game like
Yeah,
that.
that's
It
you,
sucked.
Except you see your whole deck because you search everything. Does Lorcana have tutor effects, or
There's
is
no
it...
tutors yet, I believe, because they released the game with only 200 cards in the card pool.
Okay.
And I think that for the most part, all of the card effects that exist in the game are budget card effects of what exists in Magic.
Are they excavate?
No, they're not excavate. They do have.
They're just blind draw.
They have draw trash. They have
Yes.
and they have draw effects.
So they don't
search.
they don't search. They don't excavate. You just
There
blind-
might be some search.
I don't.
in the
You're
game
using
by now.
terms I don't know. There's cards that say, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add one to hand,
That's
put it to the
excavate.
bottom.
That's excavate.
Yeah, they have cards like that.
Okay.
but relatively minimal.
So if that's the thing is you have these other card games where you say, well, why am I building this deck if I'm not going to see any of it? Well, the truth is you can just tutor a lot.
Well, I don't think deck out is that big. I mean, we're getting closer to where it's more meaningful, but the reality is that we've had mill cards for a while.
I mean, look at
we
it.
we had a deck that's whole goal was to mill itself, and people thought, let me use mill cards against them to deck them out, and it still wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Because it was too. I mean, the strategy was too slow compared to what the mill deck was doing, which
Yeah.
is Beelzemon.
Well, you can't say your mill strategy is too slow when they're doing your strategy for you and quickly. Like Beelzemon milled itself quickly.
Beelzemon was easily getting down to like
I mean, there's a reason they
10
had
cards
to.
left in deck. Yeah.
There's a reason they had to limit that deck for its best card to 1.
And if your strategy is to get them to 0 cards in security or 0 cards in deck, and they're doing it for you, then how is your strategy too slow against them? They're doing your strategy for you.
I think what Jeremiah is trying to express is the reality is that Digimon, because it has so much card draw, it's one of the most relevant games for the purposes to have mill.
But I mean, mill is just more aggressive in Digimon than I'd
It's-
say other.
It's
I don't
funny
think-
because I feel like mill is so much more present in other games.
No, I think I love mill. Listen, I've been playing mill before it was relevant, and I still play it now. But the reality is, Digimon mill has always been bad until very recently. It has not been a good effect. It's been, at the end of the day, I always have to say, well, why not just swing in and go for life?
Yeah.
Creepymon was the first genuine mill card, I would say. And when it was created, it was when attacking, trash from the top of your opponent's deck. So if you're already attacking, why not deal damage and just try and go for the win through life anyways?
Especially because Creepymon summons more Digimon for you to attack with.
Creepymon summons more Digimon, and he is a huge swinger. Often my Creepymon was going in for 20k.
Yeah. And I think about Hearthstone. I've seen Magic. I've seen other games, and I feel like I've seen Mill so much more present in those other games than Digimon, even though we cycle through our deck so quickly. And finally, we're getting to a point. I mean, we had Milleth where Mill was kind of relevant, but we're getting to a point where Mill is going to be.
Mill is going to be a dominant strategy in the game because of the upcoming Apocalypse.
And I don't think it has anything to do with how quickly you go through your deck. I think it's just entirely dependent on how powerful a Pokemon
Yeah,
is.
no, the reality is mill as a strategy is not becoming good. A Pokemon is just an unbalanced mill card. Like, that is the honest truth.
Yeah. Especially because think about security control. You barely go through cards in your deck in security control. Are you happy to face a Pokemon if you're playing security control?
No.
No, because
You've lost the game.
even though you're going through your cards so slowly, they're never going to check your security, and they're going to mill you out so quickly. It's ridiculous how much mill it does, right? And we just got a little bit of mill support in Ghoulmon,
Sure.
and it's kind of like a repeat of Creepymon.
It's a repeat. The main thing is they give up the fact that you can summon a level 5 in return for getting its when attacking effect on Digivolve.
Yep. What they should have done was not made it once per turn. And then you could have done double mill every turn.
If Ghoulmon was not once per turn, I think Millith would be so threatening right now.
I don't know. I think it's still just a little bit too slow for this meta that we have right now.
It is a little slow, but I think it would be what allowed it to be a viable strategy instead of like a rogue deck.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. It's just you look at what decks. Obviously, we don't have definitive data because we don't have any large tournaments right now.
Yeah.
We look at kind of the decks that are good forces in the meta right now, and Mirage is going to wipe out Mill very easily.
Yeah.
I think Fenrir is probably going to do it, even though they're cycling their deck. They're going to kill Mill.
I think Fenrir is. Listen, I love purple. I look at Fenrir and I think, oh, good. I guess Ancient Greymon's back. Like, that's how I feel about it.
Hellugarmon is such an interesting card. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so interesting. So for the record, Hellugarmon is it's end of turn it triggers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. End of turn.
Draw 2, and then it's delete this Digimon. You may trash up to 3 dark animals or SOC. To delete a level 3, add 1 to the level for every card
you trash.
Yeah. But right off the bat, you get to draw.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's a powerful effect.
Yeah.
And like again, it's purple. We don't hate the idea. I've actually in that deck, I've from hand said I'm gonna hard play a Hellugarmon just to delete something.
Oh, I got destroyed, but I had a full Mirage on field, and he just played a Hellugarmon, put me to 6, and it just blew up my guy. And even though I got to play out Goemon, and then I got to go right up to another Mirage that turn, it didn't have jamming because I didn't have the baby under it. And I died in security.
This is one of the biggest examples of any card game we've ever played of how powerful card advantage, like how good cards in hand are in Digimon, and how plentiful they are. Hellugarmon is a kill spell that, in addition to costing 7 from hand to play, is -2 card advantage. You lose a Hellugarmon, you draw 2, and then you trash 3. So you've gone down 2 cards. But it's still worth it because you go, oh damn, I got to see more cards, I got to trigger my trash from hand effects, and whatever, I give you 7 memory, but I killed your stack.
You need those cards in trash.
Is it delete all of the lowest level?
No, you delete a level 3 and then add 1 to the level for each card you trash from hand up to 3.
Okay.
So you choose one Digimon.
So the thing is, isn't that just a -1 at that point then? It's like Gaia Force.
You played it from hand.
No, Gaia Force is a -1.
You delete their
Gaia Force. Okay.
He's
saying, counting on field.
No, he's saying that if you -1 in their hand, that's +1 to you.
No. He's saying that if I delete a card on field, it's removed from the game state, so that's like a negative card advantage card, which is valid, but I don't think that Digimon works like that because we have breeding. And breeding messes. So when you delete a Digimon on field, you've not given them negative card advantage because it may not have cost them a card from hand to create that Digimon.
But it's much more difficult to look at Digimon through that lens than it is with Magic, because every card means so much more in Magic that a 1-for-1 or 2-for-1 is so much more impactful than it is in Digimon, where you will probably consistently get 3 or 4-for-1s.
I would actually love, this is where I started, and there's actually a really big point I was trying to make. We all played, at least for a while, Battle Spirits.
Yes.
And Battle Spirits has a similar card to what Hellugarmon does, which I saw and I said this card is worthless and bad. And that card is called Core Theft, another purple card. You spend Core Theft from hand, you may discard a card from hand, and for each card you discard, you remove a core. In Battle Spirits, you have to leave your mana attached to creatures to keep them alive. Mm-hmm. So Purple's main effect was to remove mana from those creatures, and once they were out of mana, they died. They killed themselves.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of your cards couldn't remove their last mana.
Yes, Core Theft was able to though, and the point is in order to use Core Theft was a -4 card in order to get them from 3 mana attached down to 0, and it was unusable. It was so expensive. I think that like most games can't really sustain the type of trash from hand effects that Purple and Digimon does because we have so much additional draw. That's the truth. I think that Purple is enabled in Digimon because of the design space where I'm going to get to 10 cards in hand. So if you tell me trash 3 cards from hand to do an effect, I say great. I can't wait to trash 3 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Well, especially because we're talking about card advantage. Cards in your trash are advantageous to you. You want cards in your trash.
They're great. They're better than in hand.
If you're playing a purple deck and you have no cards in trash, you're in a bad position.
I'd like us to remember that there was a time when getting Lilithmon to have 10 cards in trash was difficult.
Yeah.
That you said, man, I love Lilith. Unfortunately, I can't get 10 cards in trash.
There was a time when people would play Jack Raid to get no memory off of it, just to put it in trash.
Yes.
So that they could then get memory off the Jack Raid.
If your opponent checks all 5 of your security, there's 5 cards right there. There you go.
Yeah, you probably lost at that point.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, I still got the cards.
You're in a rough spot, to say the least.
Well,
but it doesn't matter until you've lost.
My most memorable time of facing Lilithmon was definitely BT6, and I was playing Bond of Friendship.
Yeah.
And you know what? Somebody called Bond of Friendship an OTK deck the other day. I was like, "You're doing 3 checks."
It's not an OTK deck. It is at the time. It was huge damage to be able to do with Bond,
but not more than Jesmon.
It's not more than Jesmon.
It's more of a tempo deck, right?
You really didn't go into Bond that much until you were going for lethal.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. It was Champion Rush with a big explosive finisher, kind of like D Brigade, where you were attacking with a bunch of little guys, and then you'd be like, okay, these little guys are dead. I'm gonna put them back on top of my deck and play this big boy that can attack right away for a reduced cost. Well, you gain memory, but it's equivalence.
Yeah.
And I honestly love decks like that.
Yeah.
I love decks that are like, we got a bunch of low end, and then we've got this big boy that comes in as a finisher.
Well, you just hate Digivolving up. You've always hated Digivolving up.
I haven't always hated Digivolving up. I've just hated missing the pieces in my hand. That's why cards like Sirenmon, which is a 5 cost level 5 that you can just drop, I like that card a lot because it means, okay, I don't need to sit here and slowly draw 1 card per turn, because that's what Digimon used to be, was draw 1 card per turn and try and find my 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're missing a piece, you can kind of still make your way up.
I mean, we played a game today where I lost the game because I didn't see my level 6. And like if I had just seen my level 6 in order to go into my level 7, I would have had the game, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enough to draw because I couldn't keep Digivolving on a stack.
Well, one thing I miss about Digimon is I felt like there was a time where you could win without seeing your level 6 because other decks were equally as impaired. But now, while decks still are relatively at the same power level, they're winning so quickly that it's not like, oh, back in the day, if you didn't see your level 6, I'm going to do 1 check, maybe 2 checks. Now it's like, you don't see your level 6 and your opponent does? All right, swing, that's 3 checks, unsuspend, 3 more checks, unsuspend, you're dead. That's game.
I often wonder to myself if one design decision in Digimon was ill thought out. I wonder if 5 security was always too low.
That's how I always feel when I'm not playing yellow. I hate having only 5.
It's very fast to go through. Even if you're not playing like big combo decks, the reality is if you swing in with an ultimate and live, I'm in danger.
Well, you guys know I started with red, right? Because I saw Gallantmon and I thought he was cool. And then immediately switched to yellow because I was like, why do I die so quickly? I looked at the blocker keyword.
Why were you dying so quickly?
I don't know.
He's blinding raying himself 3 times.
In Gallantmon.
He said, turn 1, let me play my Pulsemon to trash 2 cards from security.
But he was playing way back in, like, when you were playing?
I was playing before the game was even out in England.
Yeah, he was dying too quickly? He was a blue turbo was too strong for him?
I just felt like I just didn't have, like, enough. I didn't have, like, enough health.
He was taking an hour to play the game and be like, I want to play this game more. This should last 2 hours.
Or I'd only see, like, my Cordramon, like my blocker from the starter deck, and I'd be like, I need to run more of this guy. I need a lot of this guy because he's the only thing that's stopping me from having less than 5 security. So then I swapped to yellow.
I joined the game in BT5, and when I joined the game in BT5, Rookie Rush was very relevant.
Yep.
How was pre-BT5 Rookie Rush?
Good.
Yeah, it feels like
really
it feels
was
like
blue-green.
The core mechanics of the game on paper with like all vanillas sounds like Rookie Rush should be a dominant strategy.
Well, because you had jamming Vmon with the baby that lets you draw if you have jamming.
Yes.
And then you've still got the good green cards, and you've got Davis now, who's potentially grabbing 2 cards because it's blue and green.
Good card advantage and sets you up for future turns. Yeah.
It was good. It was a good deck. Rookie Rush is always kind of going to be relevant in some way or another. Like, we call it Rookie Rush, but what we mean is low end aggro. So we can kind of clump champions into that. So when you look at Crossheart, it's kind of Rookie Rush, right? Like, I was playing Mervacross, and I was doing a bunch of small attacks with the level 3s and 4s, and then dropping the level 6 that summons 3s and 4s to attack for Rush. So we call it Rookie Rush, but what we mean is just aggro in general. And I think it's always going to have a place in Digimon. Red Hybrid, I don't know what to call that. Champion Rush, I don't know. Yeah. It's like it's the same kind of idea though.
Yeah, right? Just the ability to go fast
like a
from
red aggro deck.
Yeah,
without building up.
Which is what Magic has red aggro, and that
they for sure do.
That is what I want in Digimon. That's what I wish Red was just that like Goblin deck in Magic.
I think Red Hybrid is the closest we have because the reality is you pay mana this turn to make it so next turn you can essentially create a haste creature.
I'm going to say something that I've been wanting since I started playing this game.
Okay.
And it doesn't really fit well into the game. There's one card that kind of attempts it, and it's funny. But I want just straight up damage spells.
Yeah.
I miss Lightning Bolt. I miss Fireball. I miss cards that are just like attack you with a spell directly to kill you. Yeah. And we've got cards like Code Cracking.
Code Cracking. I was going to say Code Cracking, yeah.
And we have Chaos Degradation. But it's not the same as just...
we realistically, the cards that we have that do direct damage are Omnimon X.
Yeah.
It's like trash security effects.
But I want options that do it. But I know that it doesn't work for what this game is. No. But I played Freeze Mage in Hearthstone, and what that was just assembling a bunch of spells in your hand, getting them down to 15 life with a big monster that had it like on play, Battle Cry, and then you just fling the spells from your hand to kill them.
Yeah.
I love that playstyle. And it was like a slow control. You'd be freezing their board, blowing up their board and stuff just with spells the whole time. I love spell slingers. It's so cool.
I know. You should play Millith.
It doesn't exist in the
Sakuyamon.
I tried playing Kazuhamon.
Kazuhamon.
It doesn't exist in Digimon the way I would like it to. And I'm okay with that, but that is something that I will always kind of desire.
Yeah, it's something missing from our game state. And I think that like burn spells only can exist in a game like Magic. Again, because of the way card advantage works. Mm-hmm. The reality is that in Digimon, if we had that same dynamic with burn spells, we're not burning cards from hand when we use them.
Yeah.
We're realistically just saying,
well, options you burn from hand.
You do burn an option from hand, and an option card is fundamentally a -1 card advantage.
Yeah.
But the truth is, because card draw is so much bigger, -1 card advantage is not a big cost.
Blue Flare Metal Greymon is basically a fireball to me. I'm paying 3 for this guy, swinging 2 checks on his security.
Yeah.
That's a fireball to me. The problem is he sticks around. He's got jamming. If you don't remove it, it's game over for you.
Yeah.
You guys play a lot of games and watch a lot of shows that you hate, and I don't understand it.
Well, so I told you this earlier. The reality is I could not go through life without hating people. And the fact of it is, the same applies to shows. If I want to enjoy the beauty of draw 3 trash 2 when scatter mode dies, I have to go through the torture that is if Digivolving on top of Koichi gain retaliation. I don't want to Digivolve on top of Koichi. I don't want to run Koichi. Why would I ever run Koichi when AG exists now? I feel so wasteful to have that alternate.
At least you got something new. I look at Koji and I say, what is your purpose here? What is your purpose in life? Okay?
Well, okay, that's not a fair example because you got 2 blue tamers in the tamer set.
Yeah, but everyone looks at it and they're like, oh, everyone likes Tommy. They're so toxic. Why don't you play Koji? Yeah, ban Tommy. Koji's bad. How about you go -5 card advantage?
I couldn't believe that they... Because for blue, I get it that blue's supposed to, on paper, have the most cards in hand. But the reality is, -5 card advantage is like that's an unlivable game state.
Yeah, but red has the same card and it's actually played in the list.
Yeah, because
it's not the same card.
It's not the same card.
It takes it from trash, not your hand.
That's a purple deck. There's once again red's coming in here and stealing. They stole green's mechanic. Now they're coming for my purple mechanic.
I thought red and purple share the same design space. That's why red and purple are like their main combination.
They're. I don't think they're the main. I think purple. So I think red and yellow and purple black are the combinations that have the most pairings of
Purple yellow.
Purple yellow too. Not and red black. Oh my god. This is a quad.
Okay, I was reading the other day because they've just announced that the new Ultimate Cup format is just standard format.
Okay.
In the new year, it'll just be standard, and people were like, "Thank goodness, blue will not dominate Ultimate Cups anymore." First of all, I just want to say, I will look at the data, and in a later time, I will reveal that blue did not dominate that much. Well, we'll see. But I'm going to look at the data. Second of all, the reason if blue did dominate is because they have the weakest multicolor support. You look at other colors, you're like, red's got red purple, red yellow, red black. I'm like, blue's got blue green.
Blue green. That's about it.
That's it, yeah.
There's a couple blue other color cards, but they're bad. Or they're not really multicolor.
Shakuman.
We got some blue.
Shakuman is
But that's the thing. I said we have the weakest multicolor support. We have Shakuman, we have Magnamon. What else?
Magnamon X.
Yeah, Magnamon X. Super cool. Guess what? Magnamon X isn't blue-yellow support. It's rainbow support.
Now he's black, blue, yellow support.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons I think blue shines in a monocolor format. Because they don't rely on other colors as much.
No, they definitely don't. And so this is related, but this is the thing I was trying to bring up earlier. Is the fact is we talked about Hammer Sparks. Hammer Sparks, gain a memory, lose a card in the hand. Mm-hmm. There exists the opposite. There exists a unplayed, unusable card by the name of Boring Storm, which, by the way, what a great name for a card. It needs to be exciting. How do we get your blood pumping? Boring. That's what we'll call it.
Is it boring? I thought it was burrowing.
I think it's boring, but it's boring as in like boring a hole in the ground.
Because it's heavy Leomon or something, right?
Yeah.
Loader Leomon.
Yeah, Loader Leomon. But anyway, the point is pay 1 mana, draw 1 card.
You know what's funny?
It's a cantrip.
It is a cantrip.
It's so bad in Digimon. That would be such a good card. Well, back when I played, not anymore, but back when I played Hearthstone, that'd be such a good card in Hearthstone. That's just deck filter.
That card is extremely good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Called Upstart Goblin. You play the card, give your opponent 1,000 life points. Imagine recovering your opponent 1 security, and the only effect you get is Boring Storm. You get to draw a card.
Well, Upstart draws 2, right?
No, Upstart is draw a card.
Wait, but it's also a body?
No.
It's just
a spell card.
I actually did not know. So Upstart Goblin is just that, and it's that good.
It's insanely good.
Well, that's just because, we mentioned this earlier, the power level of individual cards in Digimon is so much lower than individual cards in other games.
In pretty much every game. I actually was thinking like Digimon, because when I have a level 6 Digimon, most of the time I have 4 other cards underneath it that are adding to its power level.
And that's so easy to strip with Sorai. That's 4 cards gone.
God. Source Strip, Digivolve. They're very unique removal mechanics in Digimon. And they piss me off.
I love them. I love them together.
That's something you'll never see in another card game is Digivolve. Like, take the top card of your card off.
Well, I think
what does that mean?
I think something that's interesting in Digimon is when we specifically refer to the top card, if it's the only card, it's not the top card.
What? Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Wait, like you're saying like for game mechanic purposes?
Yeah, so if there was a card that says, take the top card of a Digimon and trash it, but that's the only card, it's not the top card. Where a lot of times you look at it and you say, well, if it's the only card, it's the top card, right? Like if it said, take the first card and put it in the trash, and you look at it and it's the only card, it's the first card, it's the last card.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, you can't simultaneously be the top card and the bottom card in Digimon.
Well, it's just a general thing that you're supposed to know.
Does it make sense? It would be like, oh, it's the top card of my pile, but if you only have 1 card, then you have a pile.
Because Source Strip and Digivolve both specifically call out like you need sources in order to trigger this effect.
You know what's interesting? If we just refer to things as stacks. We don't have everyone talks about the stack, but we just don't.
No, well, see, this is the issue. I actually have a Magic player friend. Let's call him Julian. What's up? So I was telling Julian, I was like, okay, this is a stack deck, like as in we build up the stack to level 6.
Yeah.
And he's a Magic player, and he's like, I thought Digimon didn't have a stack.
First in, first out, baby. FIFO that guy.
But that's what I mean. Where it's like, if you were to say like, take the top card of your opponent's stack. And then you go, well, I only have 1 card here, so it's just like I don't have a stack. I just have 1 Digimon here.
If you had like 1 card left in your stack, like if you had a stack of Pringles and it was the last Pringle in your stack,
It's the hardest to get out.
You'd still say that's the top of your Pringle stack or the last one of your stack, right? Like it'd still be part of the stack. It's just the last one. I don't think it would be appropriate to say target a stack because we're targeting Digimon, right? And because of the way Digimon kind of works, where the top card and all the bottom cards are one Digimon. So if the top card gets removed, if it says delete that Digimon, all the bottom cards are gone too.
Pringles are so good.
Why?
Well, shut up, dude.
I shouldn't have used Pringles.
You really messed him up.
Now I'm thinking about Ian's foil cards.
My mind locked onto that.
The Pringles?
Yeah, I didn't hear a single word you said after.
I needed to use one of Ian's common cards earlier to try and shoehorn a sleeve into another sleeve. And I picked up a card and it was just a Pringle. It was a Chaos Gallimon.
It's so funny. Listen, I don't dislike Pringles. You guys, I have to edit this podcast. You guys mention Pringles so much when we talk about card games.
Here's the thing. I don't like Pringles.
Wait, what?
I don't eat Pringles. I don't like them.
Is that why you don't let your foils go the way of the
Pringle?
buffalo?
I don't want them to look like a Pringle, okay? I want them to look like a Dorito.
A Dorito.
A sweet chili heat Dorito. That's why I always cover my hands with orange dust before I play Digimon.
Dude, I can see you're marking a card.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
if you have orange sleeves. That's why I sleeve everything in orange, so I can eat Doritos before my game.
Yeah, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I cover my hands in Cheeto dust, and then I touch your cards. I say, let me shuffle your deck.
You know, I have this is so unrelated. The first major Smash, because you guys know I used to be a big competitive Smasher.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, shut up. So I used to be a big into competitive Smash, specifically Project M. And the first major tournament I went to was
PM for the real ones out there.
Yeah, PM. Or
What does the M
P.
stand
It's
for?
now P plus Melee.
Project Melee. Because it was making Brawl more like the GameCube version of Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue.
Anyways, so the first major tournament I went to was in Kingston, Ontario, and it was a big event called Summit. Unfortunately, there's another large event called Summit.
Well, an actual large event.
Yes, a large event by world standards and not just Canadian standards.
Yeah.
But anyways, I went to this tournament, and me and my doubles partner had no opportunity to eat, and we had gotten like 5 hours into the tournament. So
Sounds
we
like
went.
Gen Con.
It was rough, and so we got like 5 hours into the tournament, and I went next door. And I said, "Hey, what's the fastest thing you can make me?" And they said, "Well, the fastest thing we can make you is our extra spicy nachos." Why they did not offer me nachos, I do not know.
Wait, it had to be spicy?
They said the fastest thing we can give you, if you're in a rush to get back, is extra spicy nachos.
The spice cooks it faster.
Chili's will give you speed.
So I said, "Thank you, please." And I gave them like, let's say $20. And 30 seconds later, they came out with these bad boys. I said, these are so undercooked. These are so deadly, nuked in the microwave. I said, thank you. I took them. I devoured them. I devoured them in like 20 seconds.
Did it make you faster?
I was running. I ran back to my match. And so I got back to the game setup, to the TV. And I was like, well, time to play my match. I washed my hands because I'm not a gross Digimon player. But apparently, I reeked of the heat, the hot chili. So I sat down next to a guy who I didn't know at the time, but was a top player in the region. He was like second best in the region. And no, it's a player who's unfortunately banned from the scene. So I'm not going to mention.
Nice. That's a real Smash player right there.
So I'm not going to mention his name. But and so at the time I was like, okay, whatever. I'll sit down and play my match. And he's like, by the way, because I knew him for years after this. And he was like, by the way, the first time I met you, I thought, I gotta watch my words. I can't say what he said. He's like, for years, I was like, this is the weirdest fucking guy in our community. You reeked of hot chili, and you didn't say a word to me. You sat down, you plugged in your controller, you played our match, you got up, and you went to the washroom without saying much.
And shit yourself because of the hot nachos.
That is one of my biggest fears, by the way.
What?
I'm so terrified of
Shitting yourself?
No, of not having good hygiene. Like, I'm so terrified of being around someone and them thinking like,
oh my god.
No, I actually don't care what other people think. I just don't want to. What is the word I'm looking for?
I don't want to.
The reputation?
I don't.
No, I don't want to
be a damage on the community.
I don't want to force people. I don't want to subject them. That's what it is.
It's such a bad experience.
I don't want to subject people to bad breath or BO or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to subject people to bad hygiene. It's such a terror for me.
Wait. You play card games and you're saying this?
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's because I'm not a card game player.
Good for you. No, I have the same thing. I do not want to smell bad. If I
you
smell
know what
bad,
they say?
I want to leave.
Don't play the game. Play the player. I don't play Digimon. I play the person across from me.
Hey, I won't mention names, so I don't have to cut it because I'm gonna make the decision. But let's be honest. What color is the stinkiest player? And we all know the answer.
It's black.
No,
It's red.
it's red players.
I don't know.
You know what? The truth? It's red-black players.
The truth is,
It's mono red. It's ancient Greymon.
it's Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Oh,
That's true.
yeah.
I actually heard this story about like someone who worked at a card shop and she was a girl, so I don't know. I guess that matters in this story.
You
But
chose to make this matter in that story.
I'm offended.
Well, she left when she quit. She left a list to the store owner of the stinkiest players ranked by their stench.
That's a real one. She's a baller.
Yeah, I actually
exactly.
think, dude, the best thing anybody can ever do is make an ordered list of people they dislike.
She's like,
Yeah.
these are the ones that are tolerable, and these are the ones that fucking need to leave as soon as they get a.
I want to
get in a
quickly
store.
put this in there. That was a common trend happening in our community.
What do you mean? Oh, yes.
Where
yeah.
people were making rankings of the people they liked the
my
most
God.
and the people they liked the
That's
least.
the worst
And
thing ever.
I never expected it to do well on these tier lists, but man, are they so fun to read.
They're
I don't
so
care
good.
how people rank me, but I want to see how people rank everyone else.
Huge shout outs to anybody who publicly posts their list. Here's the thing. Are you brave enough? There's 3 of us in the room. We can each make a list
Of us 3,
of us 3.
it's me first always.
That's the issue. I was gonna say, how sad if one of us chooses to not put themselves first.
Yeah, that would be sad. That would be
If I look over and I say, "Oh, Jeremiah's number 1, Noah's number 2," I guess I'm my own number 3.
And that's why you watch shows that you hate and play games that you hate. Because you hate yourself.
I'm depicting a reflection of my own world.
You're punishing yourself. Yeah, that would be very sad if one of us said, well, it wouldn't be sad. It'd be so loving. What a bro.
What a homie.
Yeah. Honestly, real talk. The only one of us that I could see saying they liked one of us more than themselves is Jeremiah. Not because Jeremiah hates himself, but because he's so caring.
I am caring.
He wants us to feel good about
I
ourselves.
just listen, guys. You're out here swinging at me 24/7, and I just want to
Checking
come in
for
with
security.
I just want to come in for a hug, and you punch me in the gut, and I'm like, nah, come here.
Wait, whoa. This is revisionist history.
Yeah.
All Ian wants is a hug, and you're swinging at him. You're sleeping beside him, punching him in the head, kicking him in the shins.
I will educate the audience that before the podcast, I said, you know what? I'd like to set the tone. Can I have a hug, Jeremiah? And he yelled at me so loud with so much vitriol.
Oh my god.
He wanted to start this podcast so bad, and he wouldn't even give me a second to play a lovely game of Digivolve.
you guys-
I came straight here from work.
He had to work late.
The employee, it was one of the is a tenured employee was leaving today. Everyone was going to the bar. They're like, Noah, you have to come. You've only been here for a couple months, but you have to come. It's camaraderie.
You
and
don't
I'm like,
drink.
yeah, but you go and you spend time with people. I worked in a bar. I didn't drink, but you still like if someone buys me
I was
drink,
a bartender, and I don't drink.
Yeah.
it's camaraderie, and I said no. I gotta go camaraderie with my other guys, and I
appreciate that.
drove up here.
To record a podcast, and then proceeded to not for like an hour until I said, "Let's do it."
Until you yelled at us.
Oh
You
my
were screaming
God.
at us, and it wasn't that I didn't
I
want
was
to
scared.
record. I just wanted to get the juices flowing.
Jeremiah's strong.
Because
He's like Angemon. He's
We
got that
need
tight body.
We need a leader.
And your
we need
house is-
someone to stand at the front, the vanguard.
Your house is big. His voice echoes off the hallways.
Well, for the sake of the podcast, dude, I've got a small house. I need.
Whoa! That's revisionist history.
Yeah, but all I wanted was
You
to
have a
just-
movie. You live in a movie theater, dude.
Yeah.
I wish. Okay,
And yet, all I watch are bad anime.
here's some more deep lore of Noah.
Sure.
When I was a kid, as I'm sure everyone does, you dream about being a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
Or having man. When I was a kid,
Some dream.
We're different.
when I was a kid, I was a million. $1 million. That's so much money. Now, like $1 million, that's chump change.
Look, you can afford a house.
I mean, I would love $1 million, but I would still feel poor if I had $1 million.
A bungalow is $1 million.
But I used to be like thinking about all the places that you could buy, like a movie theater or a church or a whole block of houses, and you could connect them all, and it'd just be like. Basically, my dream was to have an insane house.
But not before owning a church.
No, because like you think about how big a church is, right? And you renovate it to make it your house.
Here's
You're basically living in a castle.
No, here's where you're confused. Jeremiah loves graceful charity. So the moment you said you wanted to buy a church, he said that card should be banned.
Well, the other thing is a lot of churches have gyms. I'm like, indoor gym, you're set.
Whoa, what churches have gyms?
Churches have gyms?
My gym is my church.
See you guys on Sunday.
I'm there. Not weightlifting gyms, like gymnasiums.
Oh, get out of here.
Like a
What, I
basketball
can't lift
court.
for the Lord? Come on.
Dude, that is the equivalent of saying my church has a swimming pool because it has I can do baptisms there.
If my church doesn't have a gym, how am I expected to look like Andre?
That's not the equivalent. I'm talking about a straight up gymnasium.
I still think like a baptism booth is a pool. It's a pool of water.
I'm talking a full size gymnasium.
I'm talking about a full size pool.
I'm not talking about a kiddie pool in the corner that you blow up and do some hot tub streams.
Hold on, where did you get baptized?
Is that how you get baptized?
In the hot tub stream pools.
Oh my god. Great Wolf Lodge. My favorite church.
Yeah, I can't wait to buy my gamer girl bathwater to get baptized in.
This is very different. I hate your analogy. Your analogies suck, man. People tell me my analogies are bad. I'm still reeling from Banana Door. But your analogies
You
suck.
said it.
I don't remember Banana Door.
Banana Door, real fans
Real fans will get Banana Door. Clearly, you didn't listen enough to supply Ian with editing notes.
I've listened an episode
0. Yeah.
I listened
The
to that
beginning.
one 3 times.
A New Hope.
2.5. 2.5. A New Beginning. Go back.
No, the beginning.
Go
the
back.
new beginning.
Go
Wait,
back.
I don't remember what it was called.
This guy says "go back" so many times under his breath, and it's so annoying on the podcast.
back.
And he's also undercutting us with each of those, so I can't use these lines.
I don't think you were gonna use this whole section as soon as you mentioned churches.
Wait,
I'm gonna
wait.
mention it.
We're cutting in here,
It's like one of our main sections. I was gonna be using.
and this is going to be in the thing.
Welcome to the Errata Sonata podcast.
Can you guys record? You guys. Jeremiah has nothing to do with
Which
this.
one of
Ian.
us would DNA digivolve with each other first?
Okay, fine. You do yours first.
No, wait.
Then
I'm curious now.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, which two of us would DNA digivolve into the third of us?
Obviously, you.
You think I'm the?
Ian is just me on Jeremiah's shoulders with a trench coat around us. That is what Ian is.
I have to lose some weight if that's the case.
No, you're the bottom end.
Ian
Yeah, I got a fat caboose.
Ian's bottom heavy.
Yeah.
He's not top heavy.
No, that's true. Wait,
So-
I'd be the bottom half?
And I have longer arms.
Wait,
than you,
why am I
probably.
the bottom?
I definitely have thinner fingers. I definitely have thinner fingers more akin to Ian's.
More akin to my Diaboromon
We all have
claws.
nice hands, eh? This
Why
is
you look
great
at my
for
hands?
this is great for our audio only.
I could be a hand
Podcast.
model. I could be an everything model except for toes.
Yeah, you got some gross feet.
I don't have gross feet. I just
You
have big
got
toenails.
gross feet and you got a lumpy head.
Show them
I
to
d-
Julia.
You're mean. You're mean today. This is why I can't go bald.
Yeah, I know.
because I've got tumors all over my head.
No, here's the thing. If you
Whoa.
went bald, you'd increase your attack values because you have natural spikes.
Oh, I'd be a bonky head. That was my favorite dinosaur when I was a kid. This is Pachycephalosaurus.
I like the bonky, but I always get confused when I look at it and it's got like the ring. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like it looks like an egg in a nest.
I love bonky heads.
Yeah.
They're such cool. I love
See,
dinosaurs.
he loves dinosaurs.
It's a pachycephalo?
Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ankylosaurus, they just got that big swinging club as a tail.
Kylomon?
They're so cool.
DNA digivolve? Okay, who's gonna DNA digivolve first?
I thought we established that. I thought you two were gonna turn into Diaboromon.
I would not want to DNA Digivolve with either of you. That's just the reality.
Why?
Okay.
Sorry,
Let's
this guy spends too much time at church to DNA Digivolve with another guy.
DNA Digivolve is just sex. Let's be honest here.
Take your feet out.
What are you trying to say?
Put your socks back on and then we'll talk.
Hey, dab me up.
I'm not dabbing you up, fam. No, I wanted. Well, now the moment's ruined. I wanted to record some sound bites. I wanted us to all go around and do an exasperated sigh that you can use later.
Oh yeah, actually I'm fine with that.
Okay, you go first.
Wait, none of us are gonna be Omnimon?
You're sighing.
I know.
What do you mean,
That
Omnimon?
was my sigh.
I don't get it.
I also don't get it. I feel like we have a lot
But
of
wait.
like.
At least Jeremiah did preface it by saying, "This is going to be so funny."
Oh god, no. Actually, this is not a Jeremiah issue. This is actually not making the podcast. But I say it so much, and I think you two have picked it up as a result, and I'm sorry for it.
100%.
But saying 100% or saying, "Oh, that's the thing," or "Oh, wait a minute," like saying like a lead-in phrase, we're full of them. I gotta cut so many of them. out of the podcast.
I don't think I picked up on it from you because I mean, I don't use it as often anymore, but I used to be like Hundo P or Hundy P.
Hundy P?
Hundy P, my brother.
You know what
I
you know what I love
use
saying?
that clip.
No, the
Hundy P, my brother.
You know what I've noticed the most is I say brother more often now.
I hate
because you say hell yeah, brother. And
Hell
I
yeah.
love that shit. Hell yeah, brother.
You know what I've noticed? While we sit here and we critique ourselves.
Hell yeah, brother.
While we critique ourselves, I can't stand. I feel like every time I open my mouth, I'm saying, you know what? That's interesting
really
because
yeah,
I hate it.
I know.
I want to slap myself in the face
That's
when
exactly
I listen
what
to
I'm
the podcast.
saying, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard when you're talking in just a casual
We
conversation.
probably have like 30 minutes of usable audio.
I know, it's bad. When you're talking in just a casual conversation, you don't feel the need to dictate your speech as heavily.
Yeah.
But
here's the unfortunate thing. Sorry, we're recording, so I have to interrupt you.
Okay,
but like, so
Unspoken rule.
let me talk under you for a second.
All right, yeah, you be Jeremiah here. Okay. So like, I. So. Thank God
I can't tell which part was him sighing, but that was a loud sigh. Since you're the head of the podcast, I have a question for you.
Yeah. Do you consider me the head of the podcast?
No, I was just trying.
Whoa. Then how come he's the top of the trench coat?
He's
How
not
come
in the trench coat.
You DNA Digivolve.
I'm the top of the trench coat.
Does Pogchampion just have like gun? Like
That
what's
means you're
tag?
the head of the podcast.
I don't know. But wait, let me get this right. I don't even remember anymore. Let's talk about Pogchampion's guns, I guess.
Why does he have guns?
Well, he does have guns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
'Cause
actively shoots bullets.
I did not realize that from the card art, but when I saw him in Cyber Sleuth, I was like, his attack is an AOE where he mows down all of the rookies on
But
field.
it's so crazy too because they're like these weird like black guns that come from his thighs.
That's why Pogchampion lame. Dino Beamon, sick.
Exactly.
He's so cool.
Dino B's so sick. I think dragon, dinosaur, and bug mixed together. Dino Beamon.
Guys, I have to talk about something because you look at Shikumon's design and you say, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah.
I love him.
Where did this come from? And somebody said the other day that he's an ancient angel. So he's like the ancient of Enkailomon and the angel of Anjumon. Mm-hmm. And that to them is what an ancient angel is.
Have you seen
but there's a Pokemon that looks like Shakumon.
Claydol.
Right? Claydol. So like they must be from the similar source material, right?
Yeah.
I assume they were religious artifacts.
That's what
I think they're like little statues that are
well, like Claydol comes from Baltoy, who's like a top.
Yeah, but so like a dreidel.
Livable Beyblade.
Like a dreidel, but I didn't want to use the word dreidel because it doesn't look anything like a dreidel.
Yeah, okay, like a Beyblade.
Like a Beyblade.
Thank God, Judaism is acceptable to the youth. Thank God, I can take my Beyblade down to
All
synagogue.
it took was anime to make it.
We used to have these blocks in elementary school for math that you'd like put together to count, and all we did with them was make little Beyblades out of them. We were just like,
How did you put these blocks together to count?
they were almost like Lego, but it would be like it was a cube,
I know exactly what you're
and there
talking
were
about.
some ends would have.
I am a tax accountant. I've never seen these mystical blocks.
I'm gonna call.
These
Okay,
build robots with them,
the
dude.
ancient pharaohs used these. It was the pre-abacus days.
it was basically an abacus, but okay. Let me start it off.
It was like a Lego piece.
Did you ever just have the straight up cubes, like the blocks that you would use to count like your ones, your tens, your hundreds? You'd ever have those? No. Okay.
He went to smart school.
Yeah, he went to smart people school.
Unfortunately,
They're like, these kids are idiots.
You
Give them
missed-
toys
You
to
missed
learn.
out, bro. You
No.
weren't flinging your Beyblade number counters.
Yeah, basically they were just cubes with male and female ends, and you could connect them together.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and you connect them together, and you could use them to count, basically.
Holes and prongs.
I mean,
No,
if you've
but-
ever used any cables
No,
or
no,
wires.
Male and female ends.
Male and female ends is the correct term. It's just I was not ready to hear it for the purposes of children's toys.
If you've ever
Why?
used
Because we use male and female for audio equipment. That's where I hear it most
or
of the time.
USBs, cables.
Like this is a male wire, and then well, this is actually two male wires.
It's male to
unfortunately.
male.
Yeah, this is a male, but like a lot of if it has a pin coming out, it's a male wire,
I get
and
that.
if it has a port, then it's a female.
It's very
Do
self-explanatory.
you want to explain why?
Yeah, so men have pee
And women don't.
and women nothing.
Vacuums.
Flat.
Vacuum.
Good, that'll go on the pod.
I really hope that goes in the podcast. I know it's gonna get cut, but that was some good vacuum noises right there.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I remember what I was gonna ask. I remember. As the head of the podcast, Ian.
Yeah.
When can I debut my rap album?
No, No.
Okay, the reality is I don't have a rap album. But when can I come on the podcast and rap Hamilton? Because I'm all about American history, my guy. I'm trying to target that one one listener we have in America, and I want.
Do you want me to try and call our shot?
Yeah.
This one's for you, Steven.
Steven. I heard about a content creator who I will not name.
Name him. I'll cut it.
But I hate him.
Nikachu?
No.
Sorry. He loves Nikachu.
I heard about a content creator. And apparently he put up a video today that was super ableist. It was like, if you're not able to show up to in-person tournaments, like if you're disabled or something,
You're cringe.
you don't deserve to go to tournaments.
Not based.
And apparently it got taken down.
Who is the creator?
My guy Mario.
Oh, no way!
Represent the
Hell
Canadians.
yeah!
Represent the Canadians.
Finally,
Ableist.
an opportunity to cancel Mario.
I wish it would happen.
What was his argument again?
I don't know. I didn't see the video. I just saw
So he's
somebody
saying like
post
if
it.
you're not, it's like I can't. See,
He's anti-online tournaments, as a lot of people are.
I'm also kind of anti-online tournaments, to be honest. But I'm not anti the existence of online tournaments. I wish we had more in-person tournaments to pair with them. There needs to be both.
Everything in life is moderation.
Yeah.
We need moderation.
Redacted.
No, that's so bad. You can't cut that out of the podcast. That has to stay. That has to stay. Okay, fine. You can cut it out, but you have to leave all the dialogue after it. So everyone's like, "What did he cut out?"
Okay, here I got it. Redacted.
Redacted. I really thought that you were gonna keep that soundbite. I'm all about these soundbites. I eventually, after we look back,
I keep the raws.
After we look back at a year of podcasting with us three.
Oh my god, we're gonna do this for a year?
No way we make it that far. But after we look back, I want us to have a soundboard of just different sound clips of us, and we just slap a button. It's like redacted. We slap a button and Graceful Chariot.
That's hilarious. I would love that actually. Just have
That'd be
like
so
a little
cool.
program, a little soundboard of like.
How awesome would that be?
Ian
It
saying,
it would be sick, but the unfortunate reality is that like I perform a scorched earth edit where we get nothing left over at the end. I am just destroying the audio.
Half the buttons are just gonna be Julia coughing or sneezing.
yeah.
Finally a woman on our podcast.
There was one thing I said. I heard it on the last episode, and I said
When you were popping on Jeremiah, redacted. I actually like get really offended.
Oh my god, man! I was talking about Marcus, and I was gonna say he's such a cool card, and I wanted to say he's such a cool guy, and I mixed the two, and I hate the way it sounds.
He's such a card guy.
He's such a cuck.
I said he's such a cool guy.
Yeah, you did say that.
I did
Kaya
say it,
can.
and you left it in, and I corrected myself after, and you left it in.
Well, it's because
No.
C and G sounds are just like the sounded version of the same like noise.
but
like,
I noticed it, and it
I
made
know.
me upset.
But like that's why like significant or significant
Listen,
is like
you
the
know,
same.
you know,
Guck is a word we should use more.
Yeah,
you-
you guckold.
you normally cut almost everything I say, and the one time
Hold
I
on,
want you to
actually,
actually cut something, you don't cut it.
That's not fair. I don't cut everything you say. I leave it in, but you can't hear it.
That's true. Somebody, okay, this is way off topic.
I can't believe this is all on the podcast.
This is all recorded.
You said guckles, and it made me think of Shakespeare because obviously cuckold and Shakespeare go hand in hand. Somebody was reading off the words that Shakespeare invented, like the words he made, and some of them are astounding. Like I cannot believe that some of these words are just like Shakespeare just was like, yeah, we're gonna do this. I can't remember all the words. I'm pretty sure withhold was one of them. I may be way off base here.
That's okay.
But I'm like, this guy just said the word withhold, and people are like, yeah, that's a word now. He's a real one. He's got it. This guy is smart.
I mean, where did Twitch language come from?
Twitch language is just like gibberish.
KEKW?
From Twitch.
Kek came from World of Warcraft.
Here's this is a tangent, but I would actually like this.
What is a W?
That was something added after the
Cackle.
fact.
I don't know.
Okay.
I hate Twitch speak. It's my least favorite thing ever. But my friends are so brain rotted that they they transfer the virus to me, and I'll end up saying stuff like pog and based. And
You do a lot.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
I'm so sick of how much I've heard him say "dab me up" in the past month.
Dap me up, brother.
But you
Yeah, because
said
I
dab.
corrected you.
First of all, you've said dab, and second of all, I just like I don't want to hear the phrase.
This is now the section where Noah will try and say as much Twitch lingo as he knows. Raise your dongers. Kappa. Based.
By the way, when I was looking for the thing to call the Pachysaur, that's what I was thinking, a kappa. like a Japanese
turtle.
Yeah.
a Japanese kappa, yeah,
No.
because they have that kind of a head.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to refer to.
Pog. I don't really know Keck, but I just heard Jeremiah say it, so I'm gonna cheat.
Omega.
There was
Noah, if you want
Omegalol.
if you want a soundboard, could I get you without Jeremiah interrupting because he's been interrupting you a lot today? Could I get you to please into the mic say, "You're my little Pogchamp"?
You're my little Pogchamp.
Yes.
What's the one? Craigasm. The only reason I know Craigasm is because PPMD Craigasm.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. It's a facial reaction.
I think that's all the Twitch lingo that I know. Oh no, I already said based. Did I say cope? Yeah. I feel like there's one.
Oh, copium is a big one.
There's one right on the tip of my tongue that I've heard. Mid.
Isn't mid just like a conversation tool? Like, isn't that just like a word that we use?
I mean, I don't think it's Twitch speak. I think it's TikTok speak. But yeah.
I feel like I used to be so.
Is there a possibility that we get back on topic?
No, we're gone.
We're too far gone at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about card advantage.
Or not learning about it, depending on where we cut it.
Okay, I'm actually ready to go back on topic because I do want to briefly touch on.
Digivolve to a Pogchampion.
Digimon.
Maybe Jeremiah needs to leave.
Digimon that's what you wanted from the beginning. Don't lie. Don't act like you haven't engineered this.
I know where I stand on your guys' number 3 list.
Yeah, our number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
There's only it's just like the top card of Digimon. If there's only one card there, it's only one thing. You are the only thing on the number 3
list.
Here's
the truth. I'm all 3 of my spots.
Yeah, the reality is that I'm on my list and neither of you two are there.
And then it's Noah. After you take up the first 3, then it's Noah. It's not me.
I'll say it. So just for the sound clip. Of the members of this podcast, it's me, and then it's Julia. I bully Julia so much in front of you, but I love her a lot. And she's a huge homie for leaving the room just so we don't have to listen to her loud ass sneeze all the time.
Yeah, but she came back in when I was getting naked for the podcast.
That's true. Why'd you take your pants off to record?
It gets so hot in here. And you hate when I talk about how hot it gets in here. So I said, let me just roll with my pants around my ankles. And you said, that's worse than if you just took them off all the way.
It was weirder because it was like it looked like you were taking a shit in the chair.
No, okay.
This is making the podcast.
You are not a gym member, so you don't understand. But the thing when you're deezed, when you're swole, you go to the gym, you drop your pants all the way down, like just above your knees, so you can see your thighs, and you take a picture. And that's the gym thing to do. Ask Jeremiah; he does it all the time. And you lift up your shirt a little bit too.
I refuse to.
I don't do this.
It's the truth.
I don't do this.
No, Jeremiah doesn't, because he doesn't care about how big he is.
I don't. Yeah, I just care about being strong. That's all I want.
But yeah, so here I will demonstrate for you. I'll stand up on my chair.
Talks out for the boys.
I will stand up on my chair so everybody can hear. And they go like, oh, never mind. Actually, this isn't a good time for me to show off.
Cocked hard.
We're gonna sit back
cocked
down.
Hard. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hold up. Hold up. This boy's got a 4-incher live on camera.
Someone told me. Okay, I'm not even gonna censor it. I'm not gonna say someone told me. My mom told me that this should be on video. And I'm not only am I upset that my mom is gonna listen to this, I'm upset that she suggested it should be on video so that people could be seeing what I'm doing.
Yeah. I hope you know this is all making the podcast.
Yeah, I do know. That's why I uncensored myself. Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom.
All right, now I'm ready.
All right, cocks out for the boys.
No, I think it has something to do with standing up on the chair. That's what gets me going. It's not making me nervous. It's just like making me uncomfortable to take off my pants. You know what it is?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm no longer taking off my clothes. I'm now stripping for you. It's becoming a performance. I don't want to perform.
You've been performing. You've been performing for the past hour and a half.
No, I was just being comfortable. I was relaxing.
An hour and a half since we.
Like sitting in my chair, if I started taking off my clothes, no problem. I'll strip down.
But the issue is you've been volunteering. It's not like we've been saying like, hey, cocks out or, get out.
Obviously, I'm volunteering. If you were asking me to take off my clothes, then I would be uncomfortable. Then I wouldn't want to take off my clothes. It has to be volunteering. Ask Jeremiah. He knows all about volunteering.
You guys brought it to a point that I don't know if I'm comfortable with you talking about the fact that I volunteer right after you talk about you voluntarily stripping.
I thought that's what you did at your job.
What?
But if somebody said soup in a show, you wouldn't hook a man up?
Dude, as a server, you don't know how much I've been asked for that.
Soup in a show?
Yeah. I've
never heard this term.
Dude, I've had...
Nobody's asking you to put dressing in their salad?
I thought it was undressing.
You single-handed...
Man, looking through all those black cards, I can't believe how many black...
I like how you said that.
How many black Digimon cards I really like. They are so cool.
He said, oh my god, please don't minus my DP.
Bancho Golemon.
I think
the real truth is Bonchos. I wish we had name a bad Boncho.
Yeah, you can't.
Impossible.
No.
They're also cool.
They're all cool.
Golemon is probably the worst of them.
Yeah, but I love him. He's a big rock guy. And then I saw Thundermon. I love
Bancho
that guy.
Golemon is not the worst of them.
Monitormon, he's so
Lily's cool.
Yeah.
Leo's
Leomon's
cool.
the best. He's the leader.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just talking about the cards. I'm not talking about like the design.
The actual cards.
I think I wish that we had Bancho Tribal.
Okay,
like,
Bancho Golemon probably is the worst.
I think that I wish that you could have a Bancho deck that had like level 5 that could digivolve into any card with Bancho in name. Bancho Stingmon is the best one.
I think in terms of design,
Bancho Leomon is so cool. He's got the captain's hat.
Yeah, of course he looks like he looks like a JoJo's character.
He's a Stardust Crusader.
But no, the real truth, Bancho Stingmon is one of my favorite design cards in the game.
He's a really cool design.
Yeah. A 9K that turns into a 15K with piercing and +2 checks.
You understand?
If you swing into a big body.
His text is whack, right? You know about this?
No.
Because it's not a when attacking effect, it's an if attacking, so it doesn't check like when attacking does at the time of declaration. It checks at the time of activation. So
so if you warp into it, it still works?
Yes.
I actually didn't know this.
Yeah.
Does that mean it ignores Venusmon's protection?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's sick. He's the Bancho, dude.
I might be maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But
say it confidently.
I think it's when attacking, so I don't think you can warp into it. But it says if attacking and not... I don't know the text on this card. And Ian doesn't let me look at my phone. He's a bad dad.
Bad dad.
Ian's grounded me.
I'm going to zap you.
I think in terms of design, though, Lilymon is the most lame.
No, but...
on delete...
no, in terms of design. Like how she looks.
What? No, Lilymon's... You just hate women, man.
Hold up.
No, she's
get back on your chair. Let me see your 4-incher. Because I got a 4-incher right now.
I don't think Lilymon looks cool. I think Bancho Golemon...
This is a male-to-male cable.
Guys, I'm going off too much. We got to call her.
Bancho Golemon is cool.
End it there.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Errata Sonata.
I'm so happy you didn't say welcome at the end of it this time.
I made one mistake one time.
Yeah, and I will remember it forever.
Thank you for listening to the Errata Sonata. This has been Ian.
And Jeremiah.
Wait.
Thank you for listening to the Errata Sonata. This has been Ian.
This has been Jeremiah.
And this has been Noah.
All right. Night, guys.
Have a good night. I said the last word. He's going to cut this out, though.